back to Trash to Treasure. Today we are going to learn how to make these mini winter hats and put them onto a yarn to make a garland you can hang in your house. In your kit you will receive 6 of these rings, some pom-poms, yarn, and 1 piece of 10-inch yarn like this to help you measure, because you will have to make yourself big old piles of yarn to do this craft. Let's get started. Okay, now in order to do this craft, we're going to make 2 different types of winter hats. One in which the palm is already provided to you and you can just glue it right on top, and the other where we use our yarn to make the palm. First thing you have to do with either of the crafts is to prepare your yarn. Included in your kit will be a piece of yarn that is about 10 inches long, and you'll need to make yourself a pile of about 34 to 36 because we want these yarn pieces to cover the entirety of this circle. Now, to make this a little easier, what you can do is, once you get your yarn ball, line it up with the piece included, and then pinch it here and keep measuring it up like this. And then what you can do is, you see these loops here, you can just cut them with your scissors and you'll have all of these pieces as yarn pieces. So to begin, after you have prepared all of your yarn pieces, you're going to take a piece of yarn and put the 2 ends together to create this loop on the bottom here. When you've done that, you're going to put it into your ring. See? So it just hangs down, and then you're going to take the 2 ends and put them in that ring and pull. You're going to want to scooch them together there, and when you pull, see, you've done your first one here. Alright, we'll do that again. I'm going to take our 2 ends and put them together, put our loop through the cardboard ring, just so you can see it, through that cardboard ring. Then we're going to take these 2 ends that are still lined up together and put them through our loop and pull. And we're just going to keep doing that until the entirety of the ring is covered, okay? So Miss Jasmine went ahead and finished another one in a different color so that she can show you how to make the 2 different types. So when you're all finished, it's going to look like this. Now, to make the first hat with the palm on top, you're going to take an extra piece of string and tie all of these ends that you've created up by the tippity top. And you want to make sure that it's not only towards the top and that you've included all of your strands here, but also that you tighten it really well. Then, after doing this, you can trim these little guys off. Then after doing this, you will push all of these strands back through the ring there. And you'll see you're starting to get a shape here. And you'll notice that a couple of the strands are kind of poking out there. That is totally fine. You can just tuck those. Those are guys that did not make it into your string. But if you just tuck those right inside there, you'll see that you have your basic hat shape. Then I like to make mine a little bit taller and rounder, so I always stick a piece of tissue inside of them and to pop them right up. And then to finish this off, you will just use your glue and glue it right on the top here. And there your hat is finished. Now I'm going to use the same one to show you how to make the other hat, because the steps are very, very similar. Let's get that out so we can start back at square one. So if we wanted to make one of these hats so that the yarn ends are what make up our palm, what we would do is, rather than tie it right now, we would push all of these strands first. Push them all the way through there. And then you see you get a nice, neat, even rim here. Looks like the brim of a winter hat. Now, if we decided this is how we wanted our hat to look, this is when we would tie all these guys up. This is a tiny little bit of string, but I'm sure it'll work. Then you tie these tight, like we did the other. And you have these guys for your palms. And what you can do is just take your scissors and just cut those guys up to even them out. Even if you've gotten all of your strands to measure an exact 10 inches, these will all, or you know, a few of them will be uneven just because they're not all coming equally through the bottom of your hat here. So you can pull this up a bit and just keep trimming until your pom-pom looks the way you want it to look. And again, I always put a piece of tissue inside of it because it makes, you can see the difference, how much more round this hat looks. And if you did want to make a hat that is two different types of colors, you would just alternate your string colors when you're adding them on, and you would need half as many pieces of yarn. So if we have these here, you would need half of these to be black and half of these to be blue. Okay, now when you've completed everything, and I would recommend making these first just so that it gives your glue time to dry. I'm gonna clear my station here so you can see what the next step is. The final step to this is to make your garland. And you'll see that I've cut a long piece of yarn. I've already kind of made my knots here a little, but I wanted to show you how I did it. So each of these, because we've glued these on and they've dried, you can make a knot around each of the palms to get those onto your garland. So let's see, I want to start with this guy. We're just gonna make a knot right around him, and these you don't have to pull very hard. The yarn and the cardboard are very, very light, and it's easy for you guys to make this at home because the cardboard rings that are included in your kit were made from tissue or toilet paper rolls. So that's something everybody has at home, and you can make as many as you want. For this particular craft, I made 6 hats, some solid colors and some using different colors. Totally up to you. Just getting those, and you know, you can put these at whatever distance you'd like. If you make lots and lots of hats, you'll obviously need a much longer piece of yarn, but it's just enough so that I can knot all of my hats, but also have two ends that I can use to hang them. So I'm just gonna lift this up so you guys can see it. So when you hang them, it'll look like this. A nice garland you can hang wherever you'd like to in your house. Put these together so you can see. And now we have created our mini hat garlands. So you'll see Miss Jasmine had a lot of fun doing this craft, and she decided to make a bigger hat using really thick yarn. Same concept, just making those knots onto a big piece of cardboard and making my poof on top. Hope you guys had fun.